Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Ripples Rising, creating waves of change through empowering voices. This afternoon, I have Daphne Vought. Welcome, Daphne.
Thank you, Jackie. Great to be here.
Wonderful. Daphne lives here in Northwest Arkansas. I met her the past year, just known her about a year through commercial real estate. And I know she's a rippler of change. So let's hear Daphne's story and see what she can share with us today.
Thank you. Thank you. So, my dad used to tell a story about he knew I was a natural born leader. He wasn't sure if it was going to be the leader of a chain gang or something else. So, I think I was destined to make a difference in some way or the other. Several years ago, right before I wrote my first book, I was going through a branding exercise. And when we boiled it down to my why and my purpose, it was truly about making waves. So, making ripples was a natural partnership.
How about that? Cool.
So, one thing I have always been a part of is being a firstborn of a firstborn in a high-functioning, dysfunctional alcoholic family was, how do I make a difference? What do I need to be in charge of? What and who am I protecting? So that is a lot of what drove my first, we'll say 3 decades. We won't talk about how many decades have transpired since then. But several years ago, I wrote a book called What's Your Scarlet Letter? Recognize Your Hurt, Release Your Shame, and Reclaim Your Voice. And this is part of the story of my healing because I don't believe that our healing journey ever ends. It's continual. And I had been involved in a marriage for over 30 years that was with a covert passive-aggressive narcissist.
There's that narcissist word again. We used that word in a different episode.
Yes, well, it's sadly something that has become common.
Yeah.
And I think it's become common because we have awareness.
Yes.
And without awareness, we can't make change.
That is correct.
So I have been someone on a quest for my highest and best self in order to fulfill my purpose for decades, ever since actually I became a mom.
Oh.
Becoming a mom, especially to a little girl, really made me want to be my best self for her and to give her that example. About 2.5 years after her came along a son, and I knew that the example I gave him as a wife and a mother is what he, would seek ideally. He may not seek it. He may seek the opposite of it, but I was hoping to be a good example for him, and that is who he would look for, would be an independent woman who was aware of her identity. I used to tell my kids when they would go out at night, remember who you are and whose you are.
Okay. Whose you are. That's interesting. Yeah, that makes them think about, they are loved by their parents and they need to be cognizant of that and cognizant of who they are and what they are doing.
Yes. And my daughter told me in her early 20s, she said, Mom, I think I realized what whose you are meant. And I said, okay, what do you think it meant? And she said, at first I thought it meant like I'm your kid and we live in a small town and people are going to know. But I now realize you meant that I am God's. And that's what I needed to remember when I was out.
That's very profound. If only the children and adults would remember that, I think we'd all be a lot happier, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Owning our identity and our Creator is something that is grounding, that is solid, that creates that peace that passes understanding we hear people talk about.
That is good. That is good. Tell me, Daphne, what in your life has made you so resilient to what you were talking about, your marriage and raising children back then? And I mean, you have to find it within yourself to be strong. And I remember Dr. Laura so many years ago.
Yes.
And somebody says, well, they make do. She says, well, children in Somalia make do. So, you make do. You make do with what you know, and what is lying beyond you might be better. It might be better, but you're afraid to move out of what you know.
Yes, yes. I think that's what keeps a lot of people stuck in unhealthy relationships, unhealthy careers, just unhealthy lifestyle habits. It's known. So even though it's not what they would necessarily desire, it's comfortable from familiarity.
There you go.
And for me, I am the oldest of three girls, so God bless my parents. And I became a caretaker. When my parents divorced, I was 13, and I became a caretaker for my two younger sisters.
Okay.
So I had to learn to make do. I had to learn how to be resilient. My youngest sister, back in the day, they called it hyperactive. And so as a 13-year-old, she was 5 at the time, learning how to navigate and keep her safe was something that I think instilled in me, this is what resilience looks like, making sure homework was done and they were ready for bed and those types of things.
Boy.
That made me take on adulthood
Yes.
early in life.
Yes. So you were 13. You mentioned your one sister at 5 years old. And how old was the other one?
The other one's in between there. So there's me 5.5 years later, the next one, and then 2.5 years after that one.
Okay. Yes. May I ask where were you at? What town? State?
So we lived in Dallas, outside the Dallas area.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody likes to be in Dallas. I was in Dallas. Other friends are in Dallas. She was in Dallas. I didn't know that. So got to go to Big D, but then we returned to Northwest Arkansas. We missed Texas, but Arkansas is prettier.
Yes, definitely. Arkansas is home. I'm from Texas, but Arkansas is home.
Oh, and how long have you lived here?
I've lived here 30 years.
30 years now. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, something somebody was talking about earlier, actually today, and about choices. And in fact, there was a song that George Jones wrote about choices because he was a drunk and then he ran his car off the road and he finally realized he had choices to make, either to be sober or basically to die. And sometimes it gets that drastic. And so, Daphne, what kind of choices did you have to make and have to venture out of your comfort zone to move forward?
Well, about 5 years ago, I made a choice. There was a specific instance, and it was as though a literal light switch flipped. And I thought to myself, I would rather live the rest of my life alone than stay in this relationship.
Wow.
And that was after 32 years of marriage.
That's
The father of my children. And at that point in my life, I'd been with him for more than half my life.
Half your life.
And I just had done enough healing and enough work to recognize I was really the messed up one for staying.
That's a big statement. You realized that you were the messed up one for staying. Because it's what you were used to.
Exactly. I could predict. I knew when to walk on my tiptoes and what moods were going to happen when and how to moderate myself. And I thought, well, if I just try more or do more of this, do less of that, act this way, don't act that way. And I finally realized that's not me being me.
No.
And I was into my 5th decade at that point in time. And I thought, this is not how I want to live the rest of my life. And this is not the example that I want my daughter and my son to have. Somebody said to me one time, when it comes to talking to yourself or being in a situation, what if your daughter said those things to herself? What if your best friend was in that situation? What would you encourage them to do differently? And so I took that advice to heart.
To heart. It's very good questions. Very good questions. Yes. So, from that decision point, where has this now led you to what you've been doing the last 5 years?
Yeah.
The big smile on your face now.
Yeah. So once I got divorced, I bought my first home on my own and completely redid it. Dove in head first into real estate. I left a benefit providing salary job for a nonprofit. It was very safe.
Yeah, safe.
And at that point, I'd given up safe.
Yeah.
So dove into real estate, started in commercial, and during that process decided, if there were somebody who essentially were worthy, because I know my value. I know what I bring to the party, as I like to say. And so I started dating a little bit. Those apps were not for me. I understand there are a lot of people who have success. The Facebook friends who reached out once they found out, that was not for me. So I went old school and I signed up with a matchmaker.
Oh, okay. So you signed up with a matchmaker, a professional matchmaking service.
Yes.
Here in Northwest Arkansas?
Here in Northwest Arkansas, in Bentonville.
Okay.
And I went in for an extensive interview, filled out a lot of paperwork. They took a photo of me, and then basically they all sit around the table and say, who matches what? Because I figured at that point my picker was off.
Yeah.
And I wanted the opinion of an outsider.
Okay.
What they saw. Okay. And so that first date, not so hot. In fact, they like you to have 3 dates when they assign you to somebody.
Sure.
And I called and said, there's no need. There is no need for a second date. So then they matched me up with somebody else. And the rules are you're not supposed to investigate who this person is. You have a first name and a phone number. Well, after the first date, I didn't really trust the system that much.
Yeah.
So I kind of did a little investigation
Sure.
and thought, oh, this is not going to work. But I couldn't tell them because I broke the rules. Yeah. So I went on that second date and asked some friends to agree with me in prayer that we would not match. And prayer works. So then I called the matchmaker back and I said, okay, here's feedback on that one. I'm getting really skeptical. And the guy said, I've already got your next one lined up. What? Oh yeah. And he goes on and on about the virtues and how wonderful and delightful this man is and yada, yada, yada. And my response was, well, if he's so wonderful, why is he not matched up?
Boom.
And his response was because he's looking for his person, which is what I had said all along.
Oh.
I was looking for my perfect person.
Oh.
Not a person who's perfect, because there is no one.
No.
I know I'm not.
No.
Although sometimes I play one on TV. But I wanted the person who was my puzzle piece that I fit together with. Yeah. And so we had our first conversation, met for coffee on July 1st of 2023.
Oh, wow.
And September 21st of 2024, we were exchanging wedding vows.
Wow. And that's interesting, Daphne. I've been married twice myself as well. And so my first husband, we dated around 1 year, got married. I would have 2-3 year relationships, and it's like, why bother getting married if we're just together? But and my current husband, we dated around 1 year and got married as well. And so there you are, 1 year.
Yep.
So I, right or wrong, I think, if a man wants to marry you, the question may happen within 1 year, not more than 2. After 2 years,
Exactly.
why bother
After 2
getting
years, you're a
married?
convenience and you've become comfortable, and
Yes.
he doesn't have to try or put any effort. It's,
No,
it's predictable.
It's a relationship of convenience. And I know some ex-boyfriends who are in that relationship now with somebody else, and it's like, oh, thank you, I dodged that one.
Right, right. Well, and I had done the work. I knew what I wanted.
See?
And what I was looking for. And I was confident in myself. So it worked.
So your husband, had he done the work?
He did a lot of work.
Okay, so he did a lot of work before he put himself out there as well.
Exactly.
Okay, well,
exactly.
if you don't mind, let's talk about that a little bit. What kind of measurable work did you see happen? Did you see that made him a better person for you?
Well, so some of the things that he brings and who he is, he's very patient. He is the calm in my storm. And he is really, really confident in himself, so he's not threatened by my success.
That's big.
He knows who he is, but he's not cocky about it.
That's right.
He makes me laugh, and he's the kind of guy who, while he is cooking dinner, and I'm in the living room on the computer,
Yeah.
and a song comes on, he'll come in and take my hand and dance in the living room.
Oh.
It's a healthy love,
yeah.
and it's all that stuff that
Yeah.
I had seen in movies
Yeah.
and hoped was possible, but now I know it is.
See? And you wouldn't have realized that unless you stepped out of your comfort zone of being in a bad relationship, and you stepped out of that and did work on yourself and purposely found somebody to be your perfect match.
Yes, yes, yeah.
So there's always hope out there.
There is. I have a saying: if you're still breathing, there's a reason, and that's because there's hope.
There is hope. And but on the flip side, Daphne, sometimes women are like cats, and some of us may or may not ever remarry, and that's okay too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Know what you want. That's
Know
the
what you
main
want.
thing. Know what you want and be honest and true to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't be I've seen people be in relationships, and then 6 months later the comfortability is there, and then the guy or the girl say, well, okay, well that was a put on. I wanted to get to know you, and we've enjoyed this, but now this is going to be the real me from here on.
Yes, that's the thing. If you go in authentic, you don't have to worry about that later
Boom.
on.
No, and that's what my husband says about me. I'm as real as they come. I don't know how to be any other way except who I am, and I am not gonna walk on eggshells. I grew up that way with my narcissistic dad, and many of us were the little girl being quiet and not to disturb things, and
Seen and not heard.
seen and not heard, and try to make everything better because your parents are going through divorce, and is it because of the children? And let's just be invisible. Yeah, and the best thing I did for myself was to move away from home, to strike out on my own in Dallas. Didn't know anybody there. And to become my own person. And I tell you, there was one relationship I was in, among quite a few. This one man says, "Oh, Jackie, but I can make you happy." And I'm going, dude, I was really pretty happy before I met you.
That's the thing. And no one can make you happy. You have to be happy.
You got to be happy with yourself.
And I've heard people say, well, I want to have a happy marriage. And you need two happy people to have a happy marriage.
Yes.
That's all. It's real simple. It's not complicated.
Right. And you got to be happy and comfortable. And, sometimes in relationships, if it's too much work, you're just trying too hard, and it's time to hang it up.
Well, and I think by work, at least for me, work means altering yourself
That's right.
to fit into another mold. Marriage, it takes work.
It does
as
take
far as
work.
communication,
Communication.
communication and what was communication. So it takes having a partnership, and that's what I have this time. I
That's
know
right.
what a true partnership is.
Yes.
Again, not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I know who I am.
Yep.
I'm willing to put in the effort that it takes. Maybe that's a better word than work. For example, being intentional about spending time together.
See?
That's work, because I'm the kind of person who I could work from sun up to sundown.
That's what we do.
And then where's there time for him?
That's right.
And then we don't have a relationship and all the things, right? So
Wheels
being
fall off.
intentional to set boundaries, and I'm not available at this time, and just prioritizing. That's
Yes.
another key thing, prioritizing.
Yes. Well, this is very interesting. We've gone from I thought maybe a business aspect and how to, have resilience and business into relationships.
But it's the same.
It is
right?
the
We
same.
carry it. We can't separate the two.
No.
It's a tapestry.
It is a tapestry. That's a great word. It is an intertwined tapestry. because the business that we are in real estate, it's commission only. And, if we don't get a deal done, we don't get paid. And I'm going to say this, that we are a few that we want to get a deal done because it makes sense for both parties. We're not out here to get a deal done to get paid.
Right.
We don't do that. We care more about our integrity and our business and our profession and word of mouth of doing the right thing by people.
We're real estate matchmakers.
Real estate matchmakers. Yes. And, Daphne kind of touched on it because we do commercial real estate. We work with a lot of men. And it's a men's world in commercial real estate. I'm going to say, so to speak. I mean,
Historically,
because I was working commercial real estate in Dallas in the 80s. And down there it was a Women in Real Estate, WIRE. And now Daphne is part of CREW, Commercial Real Estate Women, which is a national organization. I was in CREW in Dallas for a while also. And because, interesting enough, when I was in Dallas, I dated a developer here or a developer there. But it's interesting, none of the commercial real estate brokers, men, I don't know if they felt I don't know if they would feel intimidated by me or threatened by me. I mean, we're on the same level, but, I ended up dating commercial developer people or something, which didn't work out, whatever. But, no, it's kind of interesting. And when I've dated somebody and then I go to Dallas and this guy's a good guy, I met him at church. And then he was...
that's where all the sinners hang out.
No! Oh, he was. And he was making false accusations. And I said, you're a good guy, but I cannot shoulder your insecurities because we are strong, independent women. And it does take a special man to have a partnership on an equal level.
Absolutely.
And that's what it is. My first husband would call me a sweet little wifey. Can you imagine that? Not. No, I am a partner with my husband today of 15 years, actually, this past month. 15 years. And you've been married, 3 years now?
No, 1
year.
September 21st of 24. We just had our 1 year anniversary.
1 year. Oh.
We're newlyweds.
Wow.
Never too late.
Oh, that's it. It's never too late. I've known a couple got married in their 80s. Yeah, why not?
Yep.
Whatever works. Let's see. Well, let me ask you one more question about how do you feel about your choices impacting the people around you, impacting, being in commercial real estate with other women in whether it's Northwest Arkansas, Chicago, Dallas, of course, Houston, anywhere. What is your impact, you think, Daphne, when you're around other people and women? What do you see your ripple effect being?
So whenever I have an interaction with someone, especially a woman, I want them, when we're through, whether it's from having lunch or we've closed a deal, whatever, I want them to feel lighter and enlightened from having spent time together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, kind of leave an imprint on their heart.
I like that. Yeah, lighter and enlightened. Yes. She's wearing white, I'm wearing black.
I'm the light. No, I'm not.
Daphne, show us your book one more time. Tell us about your book. You've got another one there.
Yes, I do. I have 2.
Okay.
What's Your Scarlet Letter? Recognize Your Hurts, Release Your Shame, and Reclaim Your Voice. This is my story of healing from abuse. And I thank God, literally every day, that a lot of women can't identify with that. So my concern was they may not resonate with this book. I got 7 other women to contribute their stories of divorce, abortion, adoption, body shame, rejection, and it's how they recognized their hurts, released their shame, and reclaimed their voice. I believe that healed hurts lead to whole hearts.
Healed hurts
lead to whole hearts.
lead to whole hearts.
Yeah.
That's right. And what's this
And
other
then
one?
this other one is called Unhackable Force. I was really proud of this. It's a compilation, and this is closing the gap to reset, redo, and reclaim a life of favor. It's a 30-day devotional.
Oh,
And I did this with 3 other partners. So we took day 1 and day 30 and wrote it together. But then days 2 through 29, each of us wrote 7 days.
oh,
So each part is to reset, redo, and reclaim.
a life of
And
favor.
a life of favor. Yep.
And what does it say here at the top?
And it's who wrote the foreword, by Carrie Oberbrunner, Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling author.
Awesome.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us today with Daphne Vought. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ripples Rising TV, and come to my website, caregiverscaretakers.com, exposing fraud in senior care, which I'm working, whether it's statewide or nationwide, about making measurable changes in our caregiving system of getting these caregivers to be fingerprinted and background checked, like Daphne and I have to sell you real estate or lease you a space.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're going to take care of my loved one? You should do the same.
Yes. All right. Have a great day. Thank you.